Welcome to Big Truck Time. What happens when you leave your car outside at 10 degrees Fahrenheit? If you're lucky, it groans, coughs, and maybe starts. If you're unlucky, it becomes an ice sculpture in your driveway. Now imagine trying that same stunt in Alaska at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Most cars would give up, but some trucks, they roar to life like frost-covered lions. They don't just survive the Arctic, they laugh at it. That's the story here. Trucks that never stop, engines that fight blizzards, machines that make snow their playground, and humans crazy enough to test them. Let's just dive in. Why do we test trucks in the cold? Here's a fact. In 2025, Volvo put its new VNL truck through a 3,000-mile trial, from Colorado mountains to the Arctic and Alaska. That's not a road trip. That's an endurance marathon for machines. They do something called a cold soak. Picture this. Park the truck in 30 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. Let it freeze. Then, next morning, twist the key. If it starts smoothly, you cheer. If it doesn't, well, let's hope you packed hot chocolate and a blanket. This is more than bragging rights. Cold testing proves whether a truck can deliver goods, haul supplies, or save lives when temperatures could literally kill you. In Alaska, there's no AAA rescue truck. There's just you, your rig, and nature's icy breath. And every successful ignition isn't just engineering, it's survival. Because in the coldest places on Earth, trucks aren't just vehicles, they're lifelines. Meet the veteran who knows the cold. Enter Mike Gilson, a man who has spent over 45 years driving trucks in Alaska. That's longer than some trucks even exist. He's faced black ice, snow so thick it eats headlights, and moose who think highways belong to them. Mike was part of Volvo's testing team. He guided the routes. He knew where the real danger spots were. Imagine being the person whose job is find the scariest, iciest road possible, then drive it. That's Mike's resume. He says the true test isn't just the weather, it's the combination of freezing engines, blinding storms, and wildlife surprises. One wrong move out there and you're not just stranded, you're frozen in place, waiting hours for help that might not come. For Mike, every journey is proof that man and machine can endure when the odds are stacked against them. He jokes that Alaska doesn't forgive mistakes, it just buries them under 6 feet of snow. And yet, for him, the challenge isn't a burden, it's the thrill that keeps the road alive. Arctic trucks. Now let's talk about Arctic trucks. These folks are legends. They take ordinary pickups and SUVs and turn them into snow monsters. How? Start with giant tires. Not big, giant. We're talking 44 inches tall and 18 inches wide. They inflate them down to 2 psi. That's softer than a basketball. Why? Because then the tires float on snow like giant rubber snowshoes dot. They also rebuild suspensions. Lower the center of gravity, reinforce everything. The result? A truck that can drive across Antarctica without sinking. Yes, real expeditions use them. Toyota Hiluxes, transformed into 6-wheel drive beasts, have carried hundreds of fuel barrels across the South Pole. Let's pause. 6 wheels, giant tires, Antarctica. Tell me that doesn't sound like the coolest remote control car you wish you had as a kid. Antarctica adventures. Imagine driving where no gas stations exist, no Starbucks, no pizza delivery, just ice, snow, and emptiness. That's Antarctica. Arctic trucks have powered expeditions here for years. Drivers talk about handling tools that snap like glass at 40 degrees Fahrenheit. They talk about seeing endless horizons with no trees, no landmarks, just white. It's so empty you start naming snowdrifts like pets, yet the trucks keep going. Fuel barrels strapped like lifelines, engines humming steadily, tires crunching snow that has never been touched by humans. It's like Mars, except colder, and every mile feels like a step into the unknown, a place where even silence has weight. Out there, survival isn't guaranteed, but adventure always is. Military in the Arctic, strategy on ice. Trucks aren't just for explorers, militaries depend on them too. And in 2025, the US Army has been testing new ways to survive and fight in the Arctic. Why? Because the Arctic is heating up politically and literally. Ice is melting. New shipping routes are opening. That means opportunity and tension. The Army uses cold weather all-terrain vehicles to move through snow where roads don't exist. They also experiment with drones for resupply. Back in Afghanistan, drones hauled millions of pounds of cargo. Now the Army wants them for the Arctic. Imagine Santa Claus with a drone army instead of reindeer. Not as magical, but definitely practical. In these frozen regions, logistics is life. If your trucks don't move, your mission fails. That's why cold-proof engineering isn't just science, it's survival. Warming makes it colder. Here's the irony. The Arctic is warming 3 times faster than the rest of Earth. That doesn't mean it's balmy. It means storms get wilder. Ice melts, then freezes harder. Shipping lanes open, but risks multiply. NOAA's 2025 Arctic Vision Report warns about all this. More traffic, more accidents, more need for safety and monitoring. And yes, more need for trucks that can move when nature says no. So when we talk about cold weather trucks, it's not just cool engineering trivia. It's about future strategy. Who gets to move safely in the Arctic and who doesn't? That's a question nations care about a lot. Because in the far north, control of the road often means control of the map. And in a world where warming creates chaos, the cold may decide who leads and who follows. Arctic Edge 2025. In August 2025, NORAD and US Northern Command ran Arctic Edge exercises in Alaska. This was no camping trip. Thousands of troops tested command systems, port openings, and detection gear in blizzards. The trucks were part of it. They needed to haul gear, keep ports supplied, and move troops. Imagine trying to run Wi-Fi, radar, and supply chains while snow tries to bury you alive. That's Arctic Edge. It proves who's ready for the cold and who's just playing dress up with winter tires. Out there, every engine failure could cost a mission, and every convoy becomes a lifeline. In the Arctic, survival isn't a drill, it's the final exam. Storytelling in the cold. So what does all this frozen madness mean for us? Well, besides the fact that you should never complain about scraping ice off your windshield again, it shows how technical facts can become stories. Cold soak at 30 degrees Fahrenheit isn't just data, it's a scene. A driver turns the key, his breath fogs the cab, and the engine either saves him or betrays him. Oversized tires, they're not just numbers, they're clown shoes for trucks, letting them dance on snow. Military drones, they're not dry technology, they're lifelines with propellers. That's the lesson. Facts tell you what happened, stories make you feel it, and the best stories, they mix in humor, surprise, and human grit. Why humor matters in the blizzard, think about it. The Arctic is brutal, minus temperatures, endless nights. If you don't laugh, you freeze, literally and emotionally. That's why humor keeps sneaking into these stories. Drivers joke about moose traffic jams. Engineers joke about trucks needing scarves. Soldiers joke about drones replacing Santa. Humor is survival, and in storytelling, it's the spark that keeps audiences listening. So yes, we laugh at six-wheel snow beasts. We laugh at moose blocking test routes. But that laughter is what makes the story stick. Let's wrap this snow-filled journey. We saw Volvo's VNL face brutal Arctic testing. We met veteran drivers like Mike Gilson who live where others would panic. We explored Arctic trucks and their expedition monsters. We traveled with militaries preparing for Arctic battles. We learned how climate change raises the stakes, and we discovered that storytelling works best when it mixes facts, feelings, and a dash of humor. The cold doesn't just test trucks, it tests people, it tests nations, it tests storytellers, and the trucks that never stop, they're proof that with grit, design, and a little laughter, even 40 degrees Fahrenheit blizzards can't break us. And that's the road we've traveled today, through storms, snow, and stories that push both drivers and machines to their limits. If you enjoyed this video wild ride, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join us for more insane adventures on wheels. Got your own storm on the road story? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear it. Remember, every road has a story, and the best ones are just a click away.